Hi, this is Sweet June. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's having a blessed weekend. I'm trying to get over a cold, so if I'm coughing a little bit, just excuse me. I want to talk about what's really trending in the news right now. Four white or four black teens are accused of assaulting a special needs white young man, a young white young man with special needs. And what's really disturbing about this to me is the thing that really is disturbing to me is the fact that the white young man thought that these one of these he thought I think one of the black teens that assaulted him he thought was his friend. That's really disturbing to me about this whole situation, and the fact that it's just really disturbing to me that he thought that this young black man, one of the black people that assaulted him was his friend, and they caught it on videotape, and they had the audacity to put it on Facebook. Now, if you're gonna commit a crime, first of all, if you're gonna commit a crime, why would you videotape it and put it on Facebook? It's like you're asking to go to jail. First of all, if you do that, then you're asking to go to jail. Then you're saying, yeah, go ahead and lock me up. I don't care. It's like you don't care about going to jail. If you tape it and you put it on Facebook, then that means that you don't care about going to jail because you're automatically incriminating yourself when you're committing a crime. I don't know why, and there's a lot of people that do that. They do things, they commit crimes, and then they put it on Facebook. So as if to say, come on, go ahead and arrest me, take me to jail, because you might as well be saying that because you're incriminating yourself by putting it on Facebook. Well, anyway, I'm glad that these um, four black people got caught. My thing is, this is my thing. It doesn't matter what race you are. That is unacceptable. Regardless of it, if white people doing it to a black person or if black people in this case doing it to a white person, it doesn't matter. It is unacceptable. You do not assault anybody. You don't abuse anybody. And this young man was special needs. The very disturbing part, he was special needs. And they assaulted this young man. And thank God this young man is going to be okay. Thank God they didn't kill him or anything, and thank God that he's going to be okay. But that's really disturbing to me that he thought that one of these young men that did this it was two black females and two black males, and he thought that one of the black males was his friend, and that's really sad. You're supposed to be a friend. He thought you was a friend, and you would do this to him. And now he's going to be mentally scarred from this for the rest of his life. And I'm thinking about what really bothers me when black people commit crimes like this against white people is that because we have the tendency to get judged as a whole. We get judged as a whole. We don't get to be judged because we're black. We don't get to be judged as individuals. We get all lumped in the same box. So now this young white man and this his family is never ever going to trust another black person ever again. That's how that's going to go down. They're never going to trust any more black people. And other white people looking at the situation is going to look at all black people. It's going to put all black people in the same category and say that all black people do stuff like this. And that's the part that bothers me when black people do stuff like this, is that because we do get judged as a whole. See, when a white person commits a crime, um, they're judged as an individual. They're looked at as that's that one individual person that committed that crime. The whole race doesn't get judged by that one white person committing that crime. Not as a whole, not in a general sense. But when black people commit a crime, especially when it makes nationwide news like this, then we all get, you already got people on YouTube saying that, oh, and of course, black women are getting blamed for what these teens did because, well, they all came from single parent homes, and now, you know, the father never comes into the equation. Nobody ever blames the father. It's always the mother's fault. Well, the mothers, black women, are raising these thugs, which I'm getting ready to do a video addressing that. So, as usual, black women are getting blamed for what these four young black people did. You know, fathers, what about the fathers? I mean, the fathers not being in the child's life, they don't get any responsibility placed on them. It's always the mother's fault. And so, of course, a lot of people are talking about that. Well, single black mothers raise these thugs, you know. So we got to worry about that as black women. Every time young black people do something, then the mother always gets the blame. Um, the fathers never get any responsibility placed on them, which is not right. A lot of times it's because of a lack of a father in the home that causes these problems. Okay. Um, but that's what I really hate that. I thank God that the young man is okay. I'm glad that he's recuperating physically. Emotionally, he's going to be damaged a really long time behind this, and I hope that the young black people that did this, I hope that they get punished to the fullest extent of the law. Now, I heard a couple reports about Tommy Lauren, and I pray that this is not true. And a couple of other people was comparing him to Dylan Ruth. You know what? I hope and pray that she didn't do that because there is no comparison. Dylan Ruth walked into a church and shot and brutally murdered 9 people, 9 black people. It's not the same thing. It's two completely different situations. It's not the same thing. So I don't understand why there's a comparison. Um, People are also debating the fact that whether or not it should be called a hate crime. And I think that it should be called a hate crime because if you look at the videotape, they are making references to the young man's race. They're saying, you white, whatever, and then they said something about Donald Trump, and then they did make references to his race, and then they said something about Donald Trump. So, um, but they made references to his race, and anytime a crime is being committed against someone of the opposite race, of a person, and the person of the opposite race is committing the crime, and they make references to this person's race, then yes, it is considered a hate crime. People are debating on whether or not they should call it that. But if they made references to this young man's race, then in the process of committing the crime, which if you listen to the videotape, yeah, they were making references to his race when they were committing this heinous crime, then yeah, it should be called a hate crime, technically, um, because they was making references to his race. But I just think it's appalling what these people did. There is no excuse for it, and I just say that I just really really wish that young black people would stop doing these things. That we just because we get judged as a whole, and it just makes the whole race look bad. We all get judged on that same measure. And I just really, really wish that black people would stop doing this stuff. It is just ridiculous and it's unacceptable. I wish that everybody would stop doing this. I wish everybody would stop committing crimes against people, period. But when the problem is when something like this happens, when black people commit a crime like this towards white people, we all get lumped into that same, because I'm reading the blogs, and then people are saying, see, that's why, you know, um, that's why nobody likes black people. That's why people, and then they wonder why people are racist, and you know, as if we all should be lumped in the same box, as if we all should be lumped in the same category. Like it's right to discriminate against all of us based on what these four black people did. It's defies logic. It doesn't even make any sense. But that's the way people think. This is the way society thinks. When one black person does something, or when a certain group of black people do something, then we all get put in that same box. And most black people know this. So when you do something, you know you're not just affecting yourself. It just doesn't. These four young black people are not going to be the only ones that's affected by this. The whole black race is going to be affected by this now. You know, everything is already bad. We already dealing with a lot of racism. Now we got to deal with this. So it's just that's one of the things that upsets me about the situation, and the fact that they would even do this to this young man in the first place. And he thought that one of these people, these young black males that did this was his friend, and they would do something like this to him. And I hope they get punished to the fullest extent of the law. They deserve it. Okay, you guys let me know in the comment section what you think about this situation. It's really trending right now. A lot of people are talking about it. But yeah, I do think they should call it a hate crime. More videos to come. This is Sweet Jim.